What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our 2022 predictions for the Los Angeles Chargers. All that and much more coming your way right now! Alright, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Alright, Nick, as we continue this series, today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers had a very mild offseason, right? Not so much. They absolutely tore it up this year. They went out, spent big money. They rehauled this entire team. They saw players come in that you would have never thought would end up on the Chargers. Khalil Mack, Kyle Van Noy, JC Jackson. We saw massive players enter this franchise while also seeing some of the dead weight, if you will, leave in Bryan Bulaga, Chris Harris Jr., Linval Joseph, who struggled last season. We saw a lot of these guys who, while they're still free agents, just not part of the plans for this team, and they are completely changing their identity with the free agents that they brought in, and that is going to lead us into their season predictions for this season. Nick, why don't you get us started with the first third of their schedule? How do the Los Angeles Chargers look?
Yeah, they got a big game right in week one facing off against the Las Vegas Raiders, another divisional opponent who overhauled their team. It's going to be very interesting, but the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert playing exceptionally well. Going into his third year, I expect him to have big things in store and for the Chargers to come out of week one with a big victory in this division. Moving into week two, they're on the road for the first time against a divisional opponent in the Kansas City Chiefs. But this is a different Chargers team that's going to be a big headache for Patrick Mahomes, who doesn't have Tyreek Hill. I believe the Chargers get back-to-back wins to start off the year. Going to week three, we see the Jacksonville Jaguars on the schedule, and this should be a pretty easy cakewalk for the Los Angeles Chargers. When you look at Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, JC Jackson, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is there just yet to take on this kind of pressure from the defense, and this is going to help the Chargers get an easy victory in week three. Going to week four, it gets even easier as they're at the Houston Texans. The Los Angeles Chargers, by far and away, the better team in every aspect. It should be a very easy win here as well. And through the first 4 weeks, we have an undefeated season. Now in week five, this is really interesting because we see the Cleveland Browns being the home team. The Los Angeles Chargers are a very strong team, but if Deshaun Watson is playing for this game, it's going to be very different. However, we expect him to be suspended, and if Cleveland Browns do not have him, then it's going to be Jacoby Brissett under center, and at that point, the Cleveland Browns really don't stand a chance. So I'm going with the Chargers to get their 5th victory in the first 5 weeks. And then going into week 6, we see the Los Angeles Chargers at home facing off against their division rival, Denver Broncos, against Russell Wilson. This should be a very interesting matchup. We don't know how the Denver Broncos will be playing at this point, but Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos are a strong team, just not nearly as strong as the Los Angeles Chargers, and I'm giving the Week 6 victory to Los Angeles Chargers, having them 6-0 to start the season.
The schedule makers had fun with this one because they had the Texans, then Deshaun Watson, the Broncos, and now the Seahawks, Russell Wilson's old team. Week 7, the Seahawks in Los Angeles. It's a pretty easy game for the Chargers. I obviously understand that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are still there, and I understand Kenneth Walker can be a difference maker, but I do not believe in Drew Lock. This team knows how to play against Drew Lock. Seeing him for the last 3 years, it is not going to be a pretty sight for Seattle, and the Chargers will enter their Week 8 bye 7-0. In week 9, they go to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, another rebuilding franchise, and I believe that the Los Angeles Chargers will absolutely impose their will on the Falcons. They will get yet another victory, sitting at 8-0. Then we go into week 10, and this is when things start to get a little interesting schedule-wise. They go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Whether it's Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, they are a grinded out team that is going to really benefit from being able to run the football and play sound defense. I believe that the 49ers will get an upset victory over the Los Angeles Chargers in this one. Then in week 11, they face the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs, while they got beat in week 2, are not going to let that happen again and make it 2 straight losses for the Chargers. Then in week 12, the Chargers go on the road to face the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals got better this year, but so did the Los Angeles Chargers, and I believe they have what it takes to compete with Kyler Murray and company. I have the Chargers edging out the Cardinals in this one.
Now, going into week 16, we're at the back third of the schedule. The Los Angeles Chargers are looking to end the year strong, probably at this point with their record the way it is. They're probably at the top of the conference, and they want to secure that number 1 seed. But they have the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium in week 13. This is going to be a very tough environment to play in, and I'm going to give the edge to the Las Vegas Raiders to split the series on the season. Going into week 14, the Los Angeles Chargers have lost 3 of their last 4, and they need to make this right. But the Dolphins are a tough team to play against, and Tyreek Hill knows them very well and knows how to play against this defense. But that's where all the overhauls on the defense come to play for the Chargers, and I think it's going to take care of Tua and whatever else this offense has in store. I'm giving the edge to the Chargers in week 14. Then going to week 15, taking on the Tennessee Titans. No A.J. Brown. You've got Treylon Burks and Derrick Henry there, but I don't think that's going to be enough for the Titans to get past the Chargers, who are strong in all facets of their game. And I'm going to give the victory to the Los Angeles Chargers. Then moving over to week 16 at Indianapolis, facing off against Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. This is a tough team. They're not going to be a walk in the park, but I think at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Chargers have what it takes to get past them to extend their win streak to 3 games. Then going to week 17, unfortunately being the home team to face off against the Los Angeles Rams in their own stadium as well. This is going to be a very back and forth matchup, and it's 2 titans of teams that have been put together. But at the end of the day, the Rams have the Super Bowl victory. The Rams have the stronger roster, and they have the stronger coaching staff. And I believe that the Rams will be able to edge this one out over the Los Angeles Chargers. And finally, in week 18, the Los Angeles Chargers make their way to Denver, facing off against Russell Wilson for a second time. And they want to make sure that they can do everything in their power to lock up that number 1 seed if they have it available. And I think they're going to get the victory no matter what. To me, the Los Angeles Chargers are the better team against the Denver Broncos, and they will get the sweep on the season, and they will win to end the year.
When you take a look at the Chargers schedule, they start their first 9 games against very weak opponents, minus the Raiders and Chiefs in weeks 1 and 2. But then you take a look, they have a very tough schedule after that. The Niners, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, Raiders, so on and so forth, all the way through week 17 against the Rams. They're going to be battle tested going into the playoffs, and they are in the deepest and best division in football. It is definitely a sight to behold what the Chargers were able to do this offseason, but we have to see, can it translate over to the season? Can they continue to compete within their own division? Only time will be able to tell. Be sure to follow this series as we continue to go team by team. That way you can see where each team lands, and then we can go through the playoff predictions from there. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.